Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, I have a Titanfall gameplay here. I'm not really the greatest at first-person shooters, so it's entertaining. I did actually do fairly good in this game, surprisingly. Don't remember the end score, but I did include the end screen for you guys to see. So there's that, and one member of my team just went super, I don't know, god tier mode. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about Titanfall, although I do run around a bit. But anyway. We're actually going to... My first-person shooters are actually going to probably have a whole lot of probably going to have a whole lot of random commentaries, just to make it work out and, you know, have fun, make it relatable to people, and the gameplay is just there for you guys to watch if you want to watch, essentially. So, today's topic, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in. We're actually going to be talking about commentary itself, surprisingly. So what I'm going to be covering is what makes or breaks a commentary. For me, I mean, it might be different for you, but what makes or breaks a commentary for me, how I like to commentate on different things, and then definitely some commentary tips and tricks as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we'll start with the first topic, which is what makes or breaks a commentary. So when you think of a good commentary, what do you think of? Do you think of someone with just that wonderful voice that is, I don't know, so enticing for you to listen to? Do you think of how relatable something is to you? Do you think of various other things, such as the enthusiasm of the gameplay, for example? Like when I do Pokemon, I try and keep pretty enthusiastic on the battle, explain my thought process as well, and that's those kind of commentaries. But for first-person shooter commentaries, like I said at the beginning of the video, I like to go ahead and have relatable life stuff, because if you want to watch the gameplay, you can watch the gameplay pretty well, and especially you can watch me fail at all first-person shooters, and Dark Souls, of course, too, as well. But Dark Souls is a Let's Play, so I'm more talking about the game itself on that. But, yeah, basically, essentially, what makes or breaks a commentary for me is just if the person runs out of stuff to talk about during the video, or if the person's really not that entertaining. You gotta think, people gotta love your voice if they're really willing to listen to you, because if you think about it, there's probably at least 100 different videos of the same thing that you're doing. So what are you going to use to bring them into watching your stuff? And that's kind of where commentary comes in. So basically, if you have a good commentary, if you have a commentary I don't know, entertaining, if it relates to life, if it relates to tips and tricks on YouTube while you're talking about like it does today, which is commentary, because this is for all you people who are wanting to get into YouTube but might not know exactly how to start out on a good commentary thing. I know a lot of people put in just music in their videos, and right here, yeah, I should have just hidden behind the wall until my Titan came all the way down, because I'm unfortunately gonna lose my Titan for that. Sorry, got a little bit distracted. Yeah, and then I die. But that's the thing. That's the thing. And that's another thing that makes or breaks commentary. It's okay to transition away from what you're talking about if you're talking about the game as a transition, but if you just... And I do it worse than most people. If you just, randomly transition into random stuff, kind of is... I don't know. It's not as entertaining. At least if you're talking about the game, you're talking about something exciting in the video. Otherwise, you're just really kind of not talking about anything. And now we're getting about the 4-minute point, which is probably a good point to go ahead and start talking about the next topic. And the next topic on part of this commentary video is going to involve how I do commentary. So as I mentioned earlier, for Pokemon battles, I commentate the battle. I'm explaining my thought processes. When I do something, I'm explaining my potential opponent's thought processes, and I'm explaining some stupid things I do, because I do point out a lot of stupid things that happen. So on that, it's kind of more about my thought process, and why I did certain moves I did, as opposed to what I'm doing right now, which is a tips and tricks kind of thing right now. As I said, most of my first-person shooters, maybe some fighting games as well. Because I might get into that. I'm trying to get into pretty much everything on my channel. But definitely for right now, for sure, the first-person shooters are going to contain either tips and tricks or life stuff that happens. Maybe funny stories in my life if you guys would like to see that. And if you would, hit a like button. As always, like buttons really help me find out if you guys enjoyed the content or not. And leave a comment as well explaining what you liked most about this. And essentially, so like, and then there's also, on top of gaming, I do other stuff. And about those commentaries, it's mostly relaying information, letting you guys know what's happening in, say, the Pokemon community when I talk about Pokemon, or just various other gaming stuff that would happen to pop up. And right here, I actually get myself into a little bit of a big fight that I shouldn't actually be in. So I think I managed to take out 10. Yeah, I managed to take out 1 Titan, lose mine in the process. So I guess it's kind of worth. But yeah, and then like League of Legends. Obviously going to be talking about the game. That's another thing. I'm going to get stomped here. Look at me get stomped. Anyway, and like for example, on commentary of League of Legends, you either want to do what, like, I don't know, what like Donkey and all them do, which is funny commentary, or you want to do what, for example, Soul Wolf and Ankle Spin can do, or just talk about the game. And either way works, because League of Legends players really just kind of want to see the game itself and see how you did, and then if they think you were terrible, they'll call you Bronze 5 and do silly stuff like that. And I'm going to go in, go be a man and try. And yeah, okay. So, there we go. That takes care of it. And as you can tell, I'm kind of losing my commentary thing. That's another thing that I need to work on. But anyone really needs to work on is when you're commentating, don't kind of get tired halfway in the video. Try and do stuff that is exciting, because otherwise, you know, you're going to lose the audience about halfway in. You want them to ideally stay till the end of the video. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to do that. They're going to probably judge within the first 30 seconds if they actually want to watch your video or not. They might even judge within the first 5 seconds, in all honesty. But as we are approaching towards the somewhat end of the game, I mean, there's still epilogue to go and everything like that. Some tips and tricks for commentary. So, tip number 1, make sure you know what you're going to talk about. Because if you just go in and start talking and then you realize that you don't know what you're talking about, it's going to reflect in your video. You're going to get frustrated, flustered, and why is my opponent cock blocking me? Okay, there we go. But as long as you know what you're talking about, keep a pretty detailed list of what you plan to talk about. If you just can't keep a list in your head, which some people can't, I managed to keep a list in my head of what I plan on talking about, but some people can't, so that's understandable. Just make sure you know what you're talking about, because the audience is going to respond a lot better to if you know what you're talking about as opposed to not knowing at all what you're going to talk about. So that's a good tip right there. Another good tip, as I mentioned earlier, try and keep exciting the entire way. You want to make sure that you have some exciting and relatable content, especially if you go on to like tell a high school story or something, or just funny stories in general during a gameplay. Make sure you know what you're talking about, or not know what you're talking about, but make sure to keep it exciting and informed, because that is definitely going to entice your audience to stick around. A lot of tricks I do is like, for example, I have strayed from the commentary a little bit, but when I strayed, I kept it mostly to the game, and essentially I got back on topic pretty quickly, like at least within 30 seconds I got back on topic. So yeah, a nice little trick. Make sure that if you do stray, it's about what is going on in the video, and if you do stray, make sure you get back relatively quickly, like 30 seconds or so. You can do diverge for about 30 seconds, and then probably about then you really want to start coming back. But yeah, the epilogue is going to be closing soon, so I'll get on to my last tip. And the last tip on commentary is inflection. You gotta make sure that you do inflection! Yes, I went a little theater right there. But make sure you do some inflection, because otherwise it's kind of monotone, and monotone isn't exactly the best thing for commentary. Puts people to sleep, bores them, makes them want to, you know, go off your channel, go find someone else. Because again, it's kind of like a competitive thing. You want to make sure, and I'm going to fail trying to climb the building at least 5 times at this point, but you want to make sure that you use inflection. Inflection's really good. But as I said, that is it. Right there's the score that I did, and then the guy who went man mode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, please. See you guys later.